What's up, guys? Today we find out what is so damn special about the Pan America CVO, and what a better place to do it than Deadwood, South Dakota. Let's go for a ride. I already like it.
Hell yeah!
Oh, yeah! Going right.
During the 84th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in 2024, I had the awesome opportunity to climb aboard a 2024 Harley Davidson Pan America CVO for the very first time. The Pan America originally released in 2021, and it finally got its CVO badge for the model year 24. I'm currently riding a 24 CVO fully loaded with every feature you can possibly want on a motorcycle. Now, much like everybody else, I pretty much ignored the Pan America for the first few years it was produced, but after some convincing from a Pan America guy and a great friend of mine, Mr. Wayne King, I finally decided it was time to try one out. So when I first hopped in the saddle of the Pan America, I had no idea about its factory specs or any of the features it provided. This is my honest, raw reaction to the Harley Pan Am.
Oh, I didn't even have it sport yet.
Oh shit.
When we get on the interstate.
Get the third gear, get your RPMs about 6,400, give it hell. Keep that front end down.
So for those of you curious as to the factory specifications for this bike, I'm going to give them to you. But I want you to keep in mind throughout the rest of the video, I had no idea what these were until after the fact. The Harley Davidson Pan America utilizes Harley's new engine platform, the Revolution Max. At 76.4 cubic inches, or 1250 cc's, this engine in the Pan Am produces 150 horsepower with 95 foot-pounds of torque. Bolting that power plant in a chassis that gives you 7.1 inches of ground clearance, or a 30.4 inch seat height, with a 25-degree rake, 4.3 inches of trail, you get 42 degrees of lean angle and a 659-pound platform that makes for one hell of a ride. But Harley Davidson didn't stop there. They threw a bunch of technology in this bike too, like tire pressure monitoring systems, vehicle hold control, drag torque slip control, cornering enhanced ABS and linked braking systems, along with wheel lift mitigation and traction control. But what stood out to me the most was the suspension. On the front end you have semi-active suspension dampening, but in the rear you have automatic electronic preload adjustment with semi-active rebound and compression adjustments. This allows for a system they call adaptive ride height, which doesn't just give you the best ride as you go down the road in your changing environments. It will actually lower the seat height as you come to a stop for those of us who are a little vertically challenged.
Suspension on this motorcycle is, dare I say, perfect. I know it has progressive suspension, and it lifts up once you get underway, but I can't tell that it doesn't. And days on the interstate, you're gonna want to be a little more stretched. But I mean, I could tell just with some very minor modifications, you could do that very easily and get the best of both worlds. Best of both worlds on this bike. Another thing I want to compliment on the CVO Pan America here is it has the quick shifter. The quick shift capability is awesome. I've never played with a quick shift before, and it's something I wouldn't think I needed. But it is definitely a great bonus to have. This windshield, and it's just the windshield, but however it's designed, nails it. I feel like I'm behind my battling bearing, except I'm getting a little more air where I need it, like my arms. So I'm in the wind, but I have that protection as well. So this adjustable windshield is perfect. I have it at the lowest setting. I'm a shorter guy, and it's right at the right height. Takes some getting used to cruising around at 4,000 RPM, but it's fun. The power is right there if you need it. I'll tell you what, I would love to get this motorcycle down to the Maggie Valley, do the tail of the dragon, and do some of those twisties down there. This bike would eat it up. I'm not super confident in the corners on this motorcycle because, well, I have about 10 miles experience on it so far, but I can see myself getting comfortable very quick. I'm already navigating through corners more comfortably than I would on other motorcycles, and I don't know this bike at all. This is a foreign bike to me. The other thing I really am enjoying is the control layout, secondary control layout, all the buttons. I like the way it's set up. I do not like the way the new touring motorcycles are set up, but this makes sense. I mean, it's very similar to the new touring motorcycles, but not the exact same. It makes sense. It's pretty simple. There's some extra buttons that I'm not sure if they even get used, but they're easy to use and they're right there. Half hour, 45 minutes, and I feel great. This seat is not as bad as it looks. Again, I don't know how it would stand up to an entire day, but from what I'm told, it stands up well, and there's tons of place for movement. If you do a lot of miles, you know that the best quality a seat can have is allowing you to move around and just readjust. There are so many ways to readjust on this seat that, you know, you do not have to be sitting in the same position all day. The versatility of this motorcycle is incredible. Now, I don't want you guys to think I am biased. I've never been on an adventure touring motorcycle before, so I don't know what other ones, how they compare. But you guys have been watching my channel. I mean, you know, I kind of have a thing for Harley Davidson, and I am really, really proud of Harley Davidson with this motorcycle. This thing is so capable. It's crazy. There is almost nothing you have to do to this motorcycle to improve its performance or capability. Now, always there's going to be some things you can do, but I mean, right out of the box, you are getting something that you can enjoy for a long time without needing to do anything. I love Harley Davidson, but they don't always get everything right. And so far, I think they nailed it with this bike. I'm not an adventure touring guy, but as someone who rides tens of thousands of miles a year, they nailed it with this motorcycle. I could see myself riding this in almost any situation. Going to the track, do a bit of training, comfortable, and it responds so well in just the different riding climates that I've put it through so far today. At a stop, I mean, I could get 1 foot flat, other on my toe. More than comfortable. It's not heavy. This bike is so light. The engine braking is even smooth. That wide RPM range really gives you like more options, even in a decelling situation. I really love it. This bike runs so smooth. It does have vibration once you're above 4,000 RPMs, but I mean nothing like an old twin cam or Evo would rattle you around with. It's manageable, and it reminds you that you're on a motorcycle. It feels very Harley Davidson. It doesn't feel like some foreign or metric bike. You still feel like you're on a Harley, which is pretty incredible. It's unlike any other Harley Davidson, and yet so like the brand that myself and I know so many people love. It's unbeatable. I never once badmouthed the Pan America. I had just kept saying I don't know anything about them. I don't know adventure touring bikes. I've never rode one. I have no idea to form an opinion. But I'll tell you, just in the last few miles, I think I could form a pretty strong opinion. We're closing back in on Deadwood now, and you know, my final thoughts are simple. I don't want to stop. I don't want to get off this thing. I find myself going slower and slower. I do not want to get off this bike. I do not want to get off.
I am not ashamed to admit that getting off of the Harley Davidson Pan America actually brought a small tear to my eye. And it probably comes at no surprise if I told you guys that somewhere in Spearfish Canyon on that Harley Pan Am, I made a decision. So that didn't take very long. This is my new to me 2022 Harley Davidson Pan America. I bought one. I bought this bike in March. It is currently June. So far, I've had the luxury of putting just over 6,000 miles on this motorcycle. And I'm proud of myself because I didn't just run out and do it. I waited till the time was right. I kind of waited all winter, and I found the right one. I actually bought this bike on Facebook Marketplace. In purchasing one of these motorcycles, I've come to find out that they don't really hold their value quite as much as the other Harleys on the market. And after owning it, I find that surprising because, you know, I'm a Harley guy. I've owned a lot of different Harleys, and I think I could say now, with only 6,000 miles of experience on this bike, one big trip so far, you know what? I think this is one of the best motorcycles Harley Davidson has ever made. I know that's going to be controversial for some of you, but from a performance standard, what this motorcycle offers at the price point that you could purchase it at, it's very hard to touch that, especially in the world of Harley Davidson. The technology on this bike is scary. I often tell people sometimes there's more copper on it than there is steel, and I sometimes think that's true. But that technology gives you a really badass experience compared to other motorcycles, especially compared to other Harleys on the lineup. So far, I really love singing its praises, although it's given me a few hiccups, and we'll discuss that in the future. That'll be its own video, but nothing too tragic, nothing too major. All right, there's no major war stories I have like some people do, and again, 6,000 miles on this 22. So I decided to purchase this one because of the price point it was set at. It was sitting in a gentleman's garage about an hour away from me. For the last 3 years, he purchased it brand new in 2022, and when he did, he turned around and told them to throw the catalog at it. This bike had every single Harley Davidson catalog part on it. It was set up almost the exact same as the 2024 Pan Am CVO that I got to ride out in Sturgis. So that was a big selling point to me. It only had 304 miles on it, so in my head it was brand new. It had just run out of its factory warranty, but you know, like all good motorcyclists, I figure we'll take the risk, right? So there's gonna be a lot of this bike in the future on the channel. And no, I did not sell any of my other motorcycles. This is just an addition to the garage, as if it's not full enough. But I am very happy with this purchase. So far, I'm loving this motorcycle, and I have some major plans for it later this year. So stick around, ride a Pan Am, subscribe to the channel. You're not gonna wanna miss the adventures I take this bike on, bringing you along with me.